Welcome to What to Pair, your no-frills guide for food and wine pairing. Today we are covering ribs, and in general with ribs you want medium-bodied wines that aren't too high in tannin and balanced with acidity. So here are my rankings here. You have Zinfandel, Cabernet Sauvignon, Shiraz, Pinot Noir, Dolcetto, and Barbera. And I include Dolcetto and Barbera together because they're similar in nature. And again, why you want medium-bodied with these pairings is that you work hard to get those rib flavors in general when you're cooking ribs. I mean, you might be roasting those ribs or cooking those ribs slowly for hours upon hours, up to 8 to 12 hours, or you might be smoking it for half a day or longer. So you don't want a full-bodied, heavy-duty, hearty wine just to come in and crush those delicate flavors you worked hard for. And I base these rankings on a number of things, including how well the wine goes with the food, plus its popularity, its availability, its affordability, and its consistency. Anyway, let's get down to the breakdown of my rankings. So the first pairing I have is Zinfandel, and I'd give this 5 out of 5 for grilled ribs. And this is considered a holy grail of food and wine pairings. Zinfandel typically has flavors of black cherry, plum, blackberry. Some call it a fruit bomb at sometimes. Why this makes it a good pairing with ribs is it's just a nice contrast. And it also has a bright acidity that keeps your mouth refreshed. So the contrast of the fruit flavors with the ribs and the bright acidity that washes away the proteins and fats and the greasiness of ribs makes this a 5 out of 5 pairing. Our next pairing is Cabernet Sauvignon, and particularly with Cabernet Sauvignon, you want a medium-bodied. If it's too high in tannin, those tannins, they're going to crush those hard-earned rib flavors that you've been going for. Pick a medium-bodied Cab Sauv that has smoother tannins, silkier tannins, and this will go nice with your ribs because those tannins will be softened by the proteins and fats in the rib. Plus, you get, again, that contrast you want. You get those blackberry and plum flavors, which gives you just a nice and refreshing contrast towards the meaty and earthy flavors of the ribs. And also with Cabernet Sauvignon, you get complementary flavors such as vanilla, spice, leather that goes with those charred flavors of the ribs. Our next pairing is a medium-bodied Shiraz, and this has jammy blueberry and blackberry notes, which again is a nice contrast. And again, you want a medium-bodied Shiraz, and it also has peppery notes, which, just adds more to the equation. I give this 4 out of 5 stars. For a dry rib pairing, I would recommend a Pinot Noir. And Pinot Noir is very acidic and somewhat light, and it has earthy flavors of like mushroom and forest floor. And this complements the earthy flavors of the herbs and the spices used in a dry rib rub. Plus, you also get these wonderful flavors of wild strawberry, cherry, and cranberry that are refreshing against the ribs. And then again, this is an acidic wine, so it elevates the flavors even further. You're really tasting these rib flavors. You're satisfied. You're not overeating. Just a wonderful pairing. My final pairing is Barbera or Dolcetto and saucy ribs in like a tomato sauce. These are two different wines, Barbera and Dolcetto. They're both Italian wines. They're light and fruity. I give this pairing 3.5 stars out of 5. And this is a great pairing. 3.5 stars is just a great pairing in general. You can't go wrong with this, but I don't give it any more than 3.5 stars because not everyone loves these wines because they are a bit rustic in nature. They're herbal and they have earthy notes. And where I live in Canada, so sometimes we don't get, the best versions of this that you might get in Italy. So I give this 3.5 because there is some experimentation needed to find a label that you like. These wines are also acidic, and you want that when you have saucy ribs that are in a tomato sauce. Anything that has tannin in it that goes with tomato sauce, it's gonna clash, and you don't want that. It just makes the wine taste like aluminum or tin, and it's just not pleasant at all. So Barbera and Dolcetto, while they do have tannin in it, they're balanced with acidity, and it just goes great with anything in a tomato sauce. So that wraps up my 5 pairings for ribs and wine. Until next time, cheers.